Sorry about that. Have you ever been to the Thousand Islands before? I'm just curious.
I am not sure. I am pretty. We've been up around there.
Hmm.
I know we play a few different areas up there, and but I know that my family, when I was a little kid, used to take a lot of trips up to Thousand Islands.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think I was probably a little too young to remember, but
Hmm.
they always talk about it. So.
Oh, nice. That's cool. I know. You have to have been to so many different cities all over the world. If you had to name like a favorite city you've ever been touring, what do you think it'd be?
My favorite city?
Yeah.
Um, I like Kalamazoo, Michigan, because the
Really?
fans are, yeah, we always have a good time, and the fans there are really cool.
Hmm.
Really, it just feels like just playing for family there for some reason.
Sure. Yeah, and I saw you actually. You guys just went to Tokyo. Am I correct there?
Yeah, we were in Tokyo for a few days, and then we went to Guam.
Hmm.
We played in a few different cities in Japan, and we're back now, and I'm just getting a little bit of sleep.
Nice. Yeah. No, I hear. No, Tokyo seems like it'd be the craziest like out of body experience ever. And I hear the fans are like really passionate about like. It seems like every single time I hear anything about a musician going to Tokyo or anywhere in Japan, the fans are always just so just energetic about everything. I don't know if that was like the case when you went there or if.
We didn't play any shows for the public there. We played on shows for the military
Oh, okay.
on the U.S. Navy bases, and we pretty much just stuck to that. It was really great to be able to play for them, and just got a great response. I just really realized how far out they are,
Yeah.
and how hard it is, just for us being out there and the time difference and really being separated from the United States. It's pretty rough. So I think they just really loved the fact that we were there, and they loved the fact that we put everything in our show for them. It was really a great time.
Yeah, absolutely. Have you guys, is that something you guys would do regularly? Sorry, I wasn't sure about this. Like, is that something that you'd had experience, do you play for the troops a lot, or was this, just a special occasion, or?
This is our first time, but we're looking to continue to do it. It was really special, and we've always had a lot of people in the military come to our shows and fans, and so there's that connection there, and we want to just continue doing it. We want to go to Europe and
Sure.
Korea and some different Indonesian places and play for the troops, more often, I think.
And actually, just a suggestion, it should be about half an hour out, actually, from where your guys will be playing. I don't know if you saw this. We actually have Fort Drum out here, one of the big, U.S. Army bases. And
Okay.
they actually do have concerts. We actually just had one recently, called Mountain Fest. But if you guys are ever looking for somewhere, to perform, if you wanted to keep doing that, that's an excellent place to check out.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah, definitely.
Very cool.
Yeah, and I know, and like regards to your live shows, obviously you guys are known for your really energetic, just crazy live shows. You have the crazy percussion section, Liz and Corey just going at it on the percussion, just making a really, just really exciting and danceable performance. And you guys do some really good acoustic stuff too. Like I checked out your your performance, your acoustic sessions at Pace. That was really incredible, I have to say.
Oh, cool. Yeah, that's a fun time.
Yeah, definitely. And actually, I was curious because I was listening to Ecstasy earlier, and I'm thinking these songs have to be so incredibly. I mean, maybe not for you because you guys have just they're your repertoire. You know exactly what you're doing. But are there? You think there are like any songs like that are just like if you had one, would you say that there's like a song that's like the most difficult to perform for you, or is it, or do you pretty much have everything down? Basically down pat.
At this point, we have it pretty down packed. Everything has its charm even the real simple, more acoustic songs are sometimes the most challenging. So
Sure.
just to get the dynamics right and to really keep the audience drawn in magnetically, it's really been probably our biggest growth spurt recently, is to be able to go to those lower dynamics and hold it really a lot of power.
Yeah, and I think it's an interesting thing as well, when you have, you know, such big hits like "Send Me on My Way" that you've obviously, it's been in, you know, movies, so many commercials, and you guys have performed it so many times. Do you think that's like, does it present a bit of a challenge for you to like mix it up just to keep it interesting for yourselves, or is it just or does it keep staying interesting no matter how you really approach it live? Or
A little bit of both. I think you know, I try to just do whatever feels right, but at the same time, you have to still work within the ebbs and flow of the songs that are in the set from before. So you have some leeway, but you know, you can't just go. We couldn't go just all nice playing mellow tunes
Sure.
and then pop in some of the more energetic ones. It would be sort of off kilter at that point.
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I don't feel too restrained though. You know, I'm able to pretty much do whatever feels right to me as a songwriter, because you know, as a songwriter, I like to perform the songs live to really know how the audience takes it, how the audience will near back the arrangement that we play. You know, like if we're making them dance, or we're, you know, do they need to dance a little bit more on this tune, or what? So I like to just keep putting new songs out there and getting a response back. So that's always been helpful for us.
Yeah, definitely. And speaking of songwriting, I know, I think you've said it before, most of your songwriting comes from, or most of your like lyrical material would come from like life experiences, as is with a lot of people. And yeah, and I know you took a trip to it was Nicaragua, I believe, in the late 80s. Am I correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. Does that still would you say, because when you go over and you take a trip like that, like it's obviously you're gonna walk away with something. And I know you were really big into, you know, political activism and that, you know, in that area. Does something like that, like the trip to Nicaragua, would you say that still influences your lyrical material, like even on like the movement or something, like even, you know, within the last few years?
I think so. I think what it revealed to me back then, when I was a kid, you know, going there, I came back and realized that, you know, we're kind of all together on this, we're kind of all one, and so my writing style developed into more the collective consciousness of everybody, and kind of getting a feel where everybody's at, you know, and what needs to be spoken within ourselves, and but as a group too, you know, and so I think I developed a writing style that's unique in the sense that it's not me saying, here's what I've gone through,
Sure,
you need to hear this, or look where I'm at, you know, and I'm going to impress you with where I'm at, or whatever. It's more writing from this collective space, this community space, and I'm able to tap into that, which I think is really cool because, you know, I think at our shows, you know, people come together for that reason, that we're all kind of putting something into the music that's happening on stage. And that's dictated our live shows. So we play on stage, and we get this energy from the audience, and we turn it into something new every night. So
Sure.
Send My Way, or Ecstasy, or even some of the older songs are different every night because the crowd energy, and so there's like 5 times a night where I just go, wow, did you hear that? I've never heard us play that before, or
Sure.
kind of come through us before, and so there's this really spontaneous, innocent energy that the crowd's a part of and that we're a part of, and it's kind of like this ritualistic kind of space,
Mm-hmm.
as opposed to like just sort of entertaining.
Sure. Yeah. Would you say, like with that spontaneity, like you'd probably bring in a lot of improvisation as well, right?
Yeah. Sometimes it turns into that. Sometimes if it's the right moment for it, we'll bust into it. It doesn't always, we don't always go off on things like that, but
Sure.
definitely, it happens
Mm-hmm.
quite a bit.
Mm-hmm. I think another thing that I was really curious about was when an artist has a creative block, like when they're writing lyrics, it's not really coming out. Your creativity is kind of inhibited for a period of time. Do you find yourself dealing with that a lot?
Yeah, I think so.
Mm-hmm.
I don't worry about it too much.
Mm-hmm.
It comes when they come, and
Sure.
I think just keeping on it musically. Sometimes the lyrics aren't coming. It's because you haven't really tapped into something musically deep enough.
Mm-hmm.
And then once you hit it, and then the emotions start to flow, and then the lyrics start to flow after the emotions.
So your music, just remaining musical, that kind of it'll rejuvenate. If there's been any creativity lost, it'll help to rejuvenate that and get that back on track. So you don't really have to, you don't work at it. You just kind of go with the flow, and it just comes and goes.
Yeah, they'll usually happen at the right moment.
Yeah, definitely. And I know one thing I really wanted to hit on as well, because I know we only have a few minutes left, and I didn't want to keep you for too long. I actually, because I know you guys, your Cruel Sun, that was released on an independent label, I believe, and then When I Woke was your major label debut. At least I believe. I want to say, was it Island?
Yeah, it was. It started off on Mercury, and then that shifted to Island Def Jam.
Okay, yeah, and I know because when you released a string, like after When I Woke, you released a few albums on a major label, and then Welcome to My Party, I believe that was your last one, and then you went independent. You signed to an independent label for a few years, and I was curious because there's always, at least nowadays, with the music industry being like it is, there's I'd say independently signed artists. There's always that question, should I make the jump to a major label and get all this access and funds and everything else, but at the same time, people are worried about having their creativity or their what they want to do blocked just for the sake of selling records or whatever. So did you find that when you left the major label and you started recording independently again, you were able to do things the more you wanted to, or was it really just kind of a business situation where it didn't really make a difference in your creative output?
Well, it's a funny question because I think what happened realistically with us, it was that we were on our first record, When I Woke, with the label, and they didn't really tell us to change anything at all. We just went in and pretty much did what we wanted to do. And then the second album, I think the band started, and myself too, started to question what we needed to do from that point. And I think we ourselves in our minds wanted to remain on the radio and make a more of a successful album commercially. But the songwriting complete yet, and we had to go in and rush it. And I think second album's really good. I remember, but I felt like production-wise, we were trying to take it somewhere where it didn't need to go. And then the next record, we got a lot of record company pressure on that one, and that kind of hurt that record, I think. I love that record. But then Welcome My Party, it was like we had freedom, but then the band really wanted, like, success. And so I felt pressure as a songwriter. I think everybody felt pressure arranging it so that it just felt like a little tense and stiff and, well, not just a little bit, but a lot. And I think that record was sort of the end of a way of being in our minds. And then I think, our next record, Stereo Rodeo, I think we went off and just kind of did just some crazy stuff, and we had a good time with it. And then the movement, we really just, it was our own thing. We really just kind of had a ball with it.
Yeah, because I read, I think it was, I don't remember where the interview was, but I know I think it was you, but at least someone in the band had said that the movement, it was like kind of the culmination of everything you had done. I think that's what it said. It was either the culmination of everything you had done musically, and it was probably one of the biggest records for you. Not sure off the top of my head.
I think it was. It was kind of like the idea behind it was just to relax, because we always had some trouble relaxing in the studio, and so we did it. We just kind of had fun, and if something came up that we wanted to try, we would try it. But for the most part, it was just getting together and having fun and playing music. And for that one too, it was different because we were doing some fan funding stuff.
Oh, sure.
So we would bring fans into the studio and kind of perform with them, and they got to do some shouting and screaming and hand claps in the background and stuff. So it was fun. It was just a different experience together.
And with the whole talk of the major label and the industry, I do, one of my shows that I do down here at Better Radio is an indie show. So everyone that I play is signed to an independent label, and with that talk with the indie labels and the record labels, there's always that talk of where the industry is headed in regards to how people get their stuff and get their art to the fans. So whether it be, streaming, digital downloads, or, physical formats or whatever. And yeah, the whole opinion about the streaming thing, I always thought was really interesting, because there are so many artists. It's very, a divisive topic, because a lot of artists don't think they're being compensated enough. And they've wanted to take their stuff off. I don't know where you stood on that, if you were optimistic about the whole streaming situation, or if that was a little bit too a little bit iffy in regards to how sustainable it is for the artist and the industry as a whole.
I just have a problem with the impersonal nature of it. The lack of artwork. Buying of singles, so there's not a whole identity being consumed at once. It's chopped up into pieces and snippets, and things are sort of out of context in a way from the record, and that's sort of my issue with it. I don't really care about any of the other stuff. It's at this point, you try thinking about it, and you just kind of drive yourself crazy. So you might as well just sort of go with it.
Sure. Sure, definitely. And I know, the art with what you said about like the artwork and everything, I think that's totally true, because I really enjoy your Rusted Roots album artwork personally. I always just thought it was really, at least all the albums, a lot of the, is really colorful, and with that lack of physicality, it's just I feel like it's sometimes a less personal experience, just because you don't have it right there. You remain a little bit more disconnected.
Yeah, it was so great to hold an album in your hands back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
and still is now for people that are into that.
Mm-hmm.
Something's gonna work itself back.
Sure. Yeah, definitely. I know we're basically at 20 minutes now, so all I just wanted to end off with is what's next for you guys. I know there'd been talk of you released your solo album. I think it was like 12 years ago. Yeah, the solo album Uprooted. And I know there was talk of whether or not you wanted to do another one or what's next for the band as a whole. So what are you guys working on right now? At least that you can talk about anyway.
I'm working on everything, really. I'm working on producing some artists. I'm working on doing some solo work. The EP I released back in the day, Uprooted, was more rusted root material done acoustically.
Mm-hmm.
This is real.
Your own stuff.
A real different direction.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I mean, it's all my own stuff, but it's definitely taken in a more a direction different than rusted root.
Mm-hmm.
It's got a different take, and then I'm working on a new rusted root record.
Mm-hmm.
And just keep busy, I'm not trying to think about it too much, and just take things as they come, and when the right time comes to release the stuff, then they'll be released.
Sure. Okay. Well,
it's just like there's too much going on musically right now. In my head that I can't really think about it.
No.
If I think about it, I go crazy.
Yeah, I mean, hey, that's actually might be good though, because you got all those ideas. You just need to get them all out there and have people enjoy them. That's the big thing. Yeah. So I mean, so we're at about 22 minutes now. So I don't want to keep you. I'm not going to keep you any longer. I really appreciate you giving us this opportunity to talk to you, because I know a lot of people around here would be would kill just for a chance to talk to a musician with a high caliber like you do. So we just really wanted to thank you on behalf of all of us at Better Radio just for allowing us to talk to you, and we're really looking forward to your show tomorrow.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be awesome.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it too. I'm sure maybe once I get up there I might have some memories of being there when I was a little kid. So
Yeah.
Work at that also.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, I'll let you go now. Thank you so much for letting me talk to you today. I really appreciate it.
You bet, man. Thanks,
Okay.
man. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. Take care, dude.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye.